Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! All right, this is Ages of Rock episode number 40, and we are interviewing Kenny Wilkerson from Nova Rex.
Woohoo! That's me. How you guys doing? Woohoo! How you guys doing over there? You guys are everywhere, right?
We're in Indiana, actually.
We're in Indiana, stuck in the Midwest.
That's where I'm from. I'm from Indiana.
I am 40 miles south of Indianapolis.
So what are you about, Columbus?
Yep, I am in Columbus.
Yeah, I know where it's at. I mean, I'm from Whiteland, Indiana.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did that whole game up there for a long time back in the early 90s. We used to play up there, you know, Bob and Tom, 95,
oh, yeah,
cool. Bentley's and Backstage. I'll tell you about Columbus. The reason I know Columbus is...
Your audio's cutting out.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh. Is that better?
There you go.
Yeah.
Do I sound okay? No, I said what it was. I'm from... When I was in high school, I used to play with a bunch of 40-year-old guys in a top 40 band, and we played every weekend in Columbus.
Really?
Cool.
What do you remember where?
Yeah, I played there every weekend. You know, it was kind of a biker bar because I remember the bikers would want to share the women with you, and I'm like, dude, I'm 17. But it's a place that had yeah, right?
Yeah.
It was a place that had really good fish sandwiches. Have you been in Columbus for a long time?
Yeah, I've been here for a while. So was it the Columbus bar?
It changed its name a couple of times. Now you're talking 1984, 85.
Oh yeah, I wasn't here then. Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Who knows? 4th Street, awesome. Columbus Bar. Who knows? Those are the two big bars. Oh. No, I don't know.
That's cool. I
was thinking it was going to be the Brick, but the Brick's way out in Jonesville, so I don't.
Are you there? There.
Yeah.
But I know Columbus well. You're good. All good. We're Hoosiers, man. It's all good.
So like I said, and Alan and I are from. I'm from Newburgh, and then he's from Evansville. All right. We all three were in Evansville at one point, so we were at the southern tip of Indiana.
I know exactly what's that. I was telling Alan earlier. I got a nephew that's in college, and he goes to Evansville.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
You also have that MGM. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go.
No, I was going to say you got that casino down there too. Is it the MGM or what is that down there? There's a casino right there south of Evansville.
It's
really
the Tropicana now, I guess.
It's the Tropicana now. I seen Michael McDonald on a Wednesday night for $10.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was great. Yeah, I had a great time. Michael McDonald, man, he had a killer band. It was great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
So. But anyways, I know everything's good with the Nova Rex. I was telling Alan earlier, we're getting ready to go do 80s in the Park. That starts, the pre-party starts tomorrow. We play Friday night. It's us and Quiet Riot. And then Saturday is Striper, and Sunday is Great White.
Great.
So
is that the Mark Russell? Is that the
No,
is that Mark's band?
Yeah, right. For the it's not Jack Russell's band.
Yeah, it's not Jack, so it's Mark.
Mark Russell. You
don't.
I'm
gonna find him.
I think they got Terry singing in it, right? Terry's
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
English guy, yeah.
Yeah, they sound good stuff.
They sound great. It's going to be a great show. It's 80s in the Park. It's really fun. Bobby Brown from the Warrant Videos is going to be there, signing her books.
I thought you were going to say Bobby Brown from Whitney Houston first. Or New Edition.
He probably cost too much, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Tawny Katane. And Tawny Katane from the Whitesnake Videos is going to be there.
Wow, cool.
It's a pretty fun show. Yeah, they do like a whole 80s theme, man. They got the DeLorean from Back to the Future, old arcade games and stuff. It's that trip. So, yeah.
So is it every year?
But,
is it annual?
This is our fourth one. Fourth one in the year. Yeah, fourth one in a row, I mean. So, yeah. Okay. I'm jumping on local Fox here in Orlando to do an interview on it in the morning. So
Yeah, I saw that on
and play
your
live. We'll play a song live.
That's cool.
Yeah. So everything's been good. We just came back from Sturgis last week. That was nutty as hell. That's our second year in a row being out there. Yeah, we did. We played Full Throttle the first 2 nights, and we played a place called the Knuckle for the rest of the week, which was a nice venue. So we had a great time there. And then
is it as crazy as it seems to be?
Well, last year, believe it or not, was my first year ever to Sturgis. We play a lot of bike events now, and last year was their 75th. This year, it was probably half as many people it was the year before. Right. So it wasn't as crazy. The first year we went there, we got in trouble because we ended up getting we had about 20 girls on stage that got topless. And even though it's Sturgis, you still have to wear pasties.
Wow.
You should go to New Orleans.
We didn't know that until after the fact. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Kenny, real quick. I mean, take us from. Like I said, I know we'll get back to what you're doing now. I want to know how you went from living in Indiana. How did you get hooked up with Nova Rex and then moving to California and getting into the whole scene?
Well, what happened was as soon as I graduated high school, I moved to Florida honestly, if you want to know the truth, here's what happened. I graduated high school. 3 days after I graduated, I took all my graduation money. I ran an ad a month earlier in the back of Hit Parader magazine.
Really?
That's cool.
That's cool as hell.
Soccer. It was the first time it was ever done, by the way. And I put an ad in the back saying, "Rocker coming to California, pick me up." You know what I mean? So I took all my money. I had about $2-3 grand. I went out there and lived for about a month. So I spent all my money, right? And then I going to be a rock star. It didn't work out, so I came back to Indianapolis. And about a week later, my uncle lived in Orlando. So I was like, well, hell, I'll go to Orlando. So I went down there. I put a band together, joined a band the first couple of weeks I was here. I did a couple of shows, and a photographer got a hold of me and said, hey, there's this band called Nova Rex. It just came down from Canada. They're looking for a bass player. And there you go. It went from there. So, I mean, I've been in the band since, 86.
So JP started this band in Canada and then brought it down to the States is what it was?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I missed probably the first 9 months of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm pretty well. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty.
I was watching I watched it. I actually went on Amazon and got your DVD. That it ain't easy. It's easy.
Oh my God!
So I actually bought it and I watched it a couple of times just get my information wise, hooked up. And
that pretty well took care of it for you right there. Let me tell you about the documentary. What was so funny about it is that I had a bunch of VHS tapes, obviously you've seen in the documentary.
Right.
So I got a buddy of mine from Indianapolis. There was a magazine called Hijinks Magazine, which you've seen that too.
Right, exactly.
Back in the day, and I got a hold of him through Facebook. You know how things are now. And I said, hey man, can you put this stuff on YouTube? It's on VHS. I don't know what to do with it. And he said, man, we should just do a documentary. So he flew down from Indy. JP flew in from California, and we shot that thing in a weekend, just like 3 days with a handheld camera.
It's very interesting, actually. It's a fun video to watch. I mean, I've watched it a couple times, and it's just interesting, because I always like the history and the the background part of the '80s, the hair metal scene and stuff. And the one thing that I did take from that video was the fact of that you guys are not bitter at all.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Because you guys came in on the end of the '80s, of course, at the end of the. I mean, and we're going to ask you a question here in a second. Alan's going. He's chomping at the bit, but the whole point the whole point that I liked about that video was you're not bitter at all. I mean, you guys, and the real good quote, and I don't remember if it was you that said it or JP that said it, was the fact of that you said, you know what, Def Leppard had 1,000 women. We had 40 or 20 or hundreds or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You had, you got a taste of it. It wasn't what it was supposed to be, but you're not bitter about it. And I think that's cool about, I think, and that's when you went, I guess, oh shit. Where were we at though? You were,
Dennis, you were telling me about you seen the movie, man, about the quote.
Right.
And you said that you went to California and then you come back to Indianapolis
And so I had an uncle that lived in Orlando, had a photographer that I met, and she said these guys were looking for a bass player, and there you go. It's been there ever since. And Dennis knows the story how I met JP. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's a true story, man. We were just trying to be like, the only thing we call it young, dumb, and full of you know what. So that was pretty much us, man. I talk about it now.
Anything you want on here too. Like
this is an uncensored show.
It's an uncensored show.
Can I put my dick out too?
No.
Yeah, hey, you know what? All I see is just a blob with a little person on it, so you can do whatever you want. I won't even see it.
No, but what's fun now is really my second time around on this. However many years later, 30 years later or so, and because I tell them all the time, I said, it used to be, getting laid, getting high, and then playing a gig, and now it's like play the gig, eat, maybe watch a movie.
Netflix.
Dennis and I feel that.
That's why Gene doesn't have that book anymore.
Oh, Gene. I got a good story on Gene, though. I did meet Gene. Well, Dennis, because I'm going to keep going back to Dennis because he watched the documentary. But we actually went to Gene's house.
Yeah.
I went to Gene's house, man. I'm like a 20-year-old kid, right? Going to Gene's house up in Hollywood Hills. Sharon, his wife, was breastfeeding the boy at the table, right? The big, and I'm like, I'm freaking out, man. So that was my Gene story, and we met him a couple times since then, But everything's good, man. We didn't have any regrets about those days. We knew it was stupid and goofy then, We just was following the trend like everybody else. They ask you how you started wearing makeup and girls' clothes and this and that. It just kind of evolved. Most of it reason I would say was probably we were all so freaking broke that the clothes we get were from our girlfriends. So we're like, hey, we like the shirt, We bought your mascara, whatever, right? So we just played the game. Growing up, I had those guys on my wall, which is really funny now because, hell, I played with half of them. I was talking about the Rock and Rivers gig after we left Sturgis. We went over there, and it was Steelheart, Firehouse, Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, Vince Neil, and then we closed the night out, which was awesome. You
headlined that show?
What's that?
You guys headlined the show?
No, Vince was the headliner, but he got done at 11:20, and then we closed out the night. So in a way,
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did Vince sing actually all the words to a song, or was it did he just like holler one word and have everybody sing along?
No, he hollered two words and had everybody sing along.
Well, it's improvement of when we saw him.
A little bit.
Now, I'm here in southwestern Indiana, and I get a shelter alert from Kokomo.
I just got one too.
Oh, well, because that place just about blew up earlier today.
Yeah, they got tornadoes earlier today.
Kokomo did?
So did Indianapolis.
Oh, they got a shelter ready in Kokomo. I just got the same thing. My fucking phone.
You should drive up there.
We should go.
That's a long trip, man.
But anyway, let's digress back into the interview.
Yeah.
So
we get sidetracked easily.
Yeah.
So do I.
So between the 80s, between the late 80s and when things started kind of dying off till the last couple of years when you guys got going again, then what did you do? What was going on between that time?
The Nova X thing went from 85 to 2000. And then in 2000, I believe it or not, I'm in Florida. I moved back to Florida after going to LA, because you asked me about that run. I came down to Florida a couple years.
Right.
Lived in Los Angeles between 87 and 92, which was prime years still, but Nirvana came out in 92. It was done. Yeah. So then I went back to Indianapolis, and I wasn't there a week. And the first show that I did coming back was opening up a Cheap Trick at Union Station. First 20,000 people. I was getting radio airplay on the stations up there. There was one in Bloomington called 92 something, and they had the 101.1 or whatever it was, 101.3. Up in Indianapolis, we got airplay there. Joni Michaels. Well, if you ever see the doc, all those people, we weren't all that media back then. And I was just like maybe a 25-year-old kid. So, but that's when we came back to Indianapolis. Just more time. Played around thinking I could still pull it off with enough hype, and the record business just wasn't having it. They just weren't having it at that time.
Yeah.
Everybody had to go to grunge. You know what I mean? And and they say music comes back around in cycles. It took probably 30 years, right?
So, Alan, right
What do you
now,
wanna ask me,
jump in
Alan?
here. Alan, here we go.
My favorite question to ask is, do you think hair
We've had a
metal
whole thing on
killed itself off, or do you think grunge killed the hair metal scene?
Well, that's a good question, and I would say grunge killed it, but because it had to end because the hair metal was so out of control there at the end with such shitty bands and such shitty makeup and hairspray. It got so out of control that it was going to explode anyways.
Right.
I mean, think about the last few bands. Any bands that got signed after, say, Warrant. Right. Those are the guys that their hair was twice as high, more hair, more makeup than Poison. You know what I mean? So it was going to die anyways.
Yeah.
But grunge definitely put the nail in it. That's what. I mean, if Nirvana would have came out 2 more years later, the hair metal would have lasted 2 more years. I mean, so I think the grunge probably knocked it out.
So I have a big concern then about your theory that it all comes back around, because that means that grunge shit's going to happen again.
Oh, God.
Listen, I didn't hate all of it. I didn't hate all of it. I actually did buy a flannel shirt eventually. But the thing is, we're really having, because listen, nobody gets radio airplay anymore. I'll give you a quick story about hair metal, just to give you an example. So I'm talking to this booking agency, I'm trying to gig, right? And he said, what about this one club? He said, well, I just try to offer Lynch Mob in there, right? And the club owner, who's 31 years old, says, I don't know who the hell Lynch Mob is.
Yeah.
So he says, hey, man, he's the guitar player from Dokken. He's like, I don't know who the hell Dokken is.
Oh, God.
So that's what you're dealing with. So really what it is when you get to the 80s stuff, especially Van Halen on, that's classic rock now.
Right.
So
it's all in the classic rock station.
Classic rock. So back when you used to go see a lot of concerts like your Foghat or whoever you want to consider classic rock, well, half of those guys are dead anymore. I mean, there's bands out there now that are running game that don't have one original member even in the band.
Exactly.
But for bands like Cinderella or Winger or Warrant, they're getting top dollar now. The money's come back around for them. Now, it's only touring because you're not going to hear them on the radio.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if they cut a new album or not. Nobody's going to give them play, right? I mean, there's between iHeart and Clear Channel and everything else, they own everything.
Well, and the problem is, too, now, if you put out a new album, nobody's going to buy it anyway. Nobody's going to, you couldn't sell. Right now, it's so sad for a band nowadays because you're going to have to go tour because that's the only way you're going to make any money. You're not going to make any money putting out an album.
Tour and merch.
Tour and merch, exactly.
That's what it is. I'm happy enough to be in the mix of that. You know what I mean? I mean, I just found out like 2 weeks ago. Remember the band Trump?
Right.
They just cut a new album. Like, what the hell? They haven't been on the freaking planet in 30 years, but now they just cut an album. Bands like Autograph are back out of the woods. Lita Ford came out a couple of years ago. She was in hiding forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it came back around that way. So I'm happy for that, the nostalgia part of it, and show these young kids listen. Okay, you know the move that Judas Priest does a lot where they rock back and forth, right? So we do that on stage, right, on a couple songs. And I had these 20-some-year-old girls come up to me and go, "Oh my God, I've never seen an '80s rock show before."
Have you never seen
Kiss?
Kiss?
I mean, we're still blowing stuff on stage and confetti cannons and doing our thing. You know what I mean? Strippers on stage, all that crazy '80s stuff. Right. I make a joke all the time. I said, look, I tell my guys that, regarding the history of it, 31 years, I said, man, I feel like I'm the freaking Shauna hair metal. You know what I mean? Remember when Shauna and Bowser, those guys were doing
exactly right.
50 tunes back in what, the 70s or something?
So would you rather be Shauna or Hee Haw?
Listen, I don't care. Just pay me.
But the thing was, you were just saying about Triumph. I mean, even being they're a Canadian band, but even though you take the biggest band right now, if they put out an album, they're not going to sell. It may not even make gold. I mean, seriously, unless you're a tight pants country or you're some of these other kind of people.
AC/DC records typically sell. Metallica records are going to sell.
GNR because they made a deal with fucking Walmart and they sold.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, their records. I mean, even their last, even Rock or Bust, was still sold pretty well. GNR puts, if they drop one single, it's going to go platinum because everybody's batshit crazy for that. So
What were you going to say,
I see it in
Kenny?
town now.
Say that again.
No, I see it. Guns N' Roses was just in town a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw them in Nashville. They were fucking awesome. I mean,
Man, I seen them at Market Square Arena. It was with them and Metallica. Metallica was the opener, right? Back in like '93 or something. Axl came out, sang 3 songs, sat down in the stage, and just bitched everybody out from being from Indiana.
Oh, he's a different character now. I mean, like I said, I saw him in Nashville, and he is on fire, dude.
Well, I know he's on fire, but I still think he's an asshole. So
everybody else does too.
I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm not an Axl fan, man. It really bummed me out.
I'm not an Axl fan, and actually, I went with no preconceived notions of what I was going to see, and I was actually well pleased. I mean, he looked like he was having fun. And the thing is, you know what, though? You write me a big old check every time I play, millions of dollar check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smile, too.
Well,
I'll
he's
handcuff
probably-
me to my worst friend or my worst enemy, and I'm going to smile the whole time you write me a big check.
Well, yeah. He obviously needed to put it back together, right? So, I mean, it's not like that guy's he's got more money than all of us put together. But hey, man, more power to him. You know what I mean?
Good for him.
I mean, it's rock and roll, so I can't hate. You know,
It was a good show. It was a good show. It was one of my favorites I've ever seen. It was.
But I told you, I went and seen Metallica for the first time after the Enter Sandman. It was that tour, and they are opening for Guns N' Roses, and they just killed.
Right.
I never seen that many heads bouncing like this the whole time, man. It scared me a little bit, and I was like, "What am I in for?" But no, it was good. It's all good. But I'm a big AC/DC fan. But yeah, can you imagine a band like AC/DC even in Walmart at this point? 20 years ago they'd been devil music or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now they sell them at Walmart. When you get to Walmart, you're in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and if it's the interesting thing is, Walmart's paying those people a ton of money to drag them in, so they'll buy an album and 3 bags of chips and a box of diapers.
Yeah.
Well, you're thinking, I mean, they're taking all, that's the intent, right?
But those guys are an exception to the rule, though. They are. I mean, there's 4 or 5 of those guys. But if Slaughter puts out a new album, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the other thing is that you had the bands at one time that got the radio airplay, and then you had the bands that made it because of MTV. I don't know. I don't particularly know if We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister would have been as big as it was without their video.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
No.
I mean, because the song is it's a little cheesy, right? So, and I can say that. So I'm like, I don't really.
It's not easy being
really
cheesy.
It's not easy, but I mean, yeah. But I'm saying those little. So I think video had a lot to do with it too. And then and MTV doesn't play music anymore. VH1, none of them do.
Yeah.
So
now they have MTV Classic.
These guys like you. What's that?
Yeah. So they have MTV Classic now that's playing some of the old videos, which is cool.
Well, yeah, but of course I don't have it on my cable.
That was VH1 Classic, wasn't it?
It was VH1 Classic.
Now it's MTV Classic. MTV Classic.
Speaking of VH1 Classic, this happened 6 months ago. You guys probably know.
Yep.
They put out a top 100 greatest hair metal bands from the 80s, and they ranked us number 48 out of 100.
That's awesome.
I thought so. Huh?
I thought I was going to bring that up for you. I'm glad you did.
Listen, I'm the king. Just throw me a bone. I'll keep rolling. Hey, the thing with the VH1 was so funny though is number 51 I remember was Bullet Boys,
right?
And Firehouse was number 47, and I'm like, wow, that company. I mean, I was in the top 50 of the 100, so I was like, wow, that was a big pat on the back for all the years.
Yeah,
of
that's
work.
Cool.
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of. There's at least 50, 51, or 52 other bands that can't say that.
Exactly.
There you go.
You got to take it while you can.
I thrown it up to a couple of them too.
Yeah, there you go. You go.
No, it's all good.
When you do those festival shows, do you usually hang out and hang out with the other bands, or do you get to stick around and watch their show? And
well, I still yeah, I mean, I still want to go take a picture with Vince Neil. You know what I mean? I still want to see Tom Kiefer. I mean, all that stuff's good. I mean, I grew up, looking up to these guys a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty wild to see that we're all at, you know what I mean, on the same kind of level. So that's pretty wild, I mean, it's not Plant. I'm not meeting Robert Plant. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm meeting Paul McCartney, but meeting those guys, they're just, some of them are cool and some of them are still assholes, And I'll tell you this one, the ones that are usually assholes are the ones that didn't sell a lot of albums. The guys that had the number 1 hits, they're usually pretty cool because their bank account's a little bigger. They don't have a big chip on their shoulder. When you got those guys that only ranked in the top 50 on Billboard, they're a little pissy.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, what?
It's true though. It really is true.
But what's the purpose of a chip on your sholdder when you're at this age in the game? What are you gonna do?
But what kind of trip is it to go see him at, like I said, Market Square, which is not there anymore, but go see him at an arena, and then you go see him at a club for $10? I mean, that's got to be kind of weird on you too. After all.
Oh yeah, years. It's got to be totally mess with your head.
That's what I'm saying. So most of them are pretty messed up. The guys that are usually pretty solid are the guys that actually did somewhat make it. You know what I mean? Whatever that means in their bank account, that's making it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Who's got the most money or toys when you die?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
So how long have you guys had this podcast going?
Almost a year.
40 episodes.
Wow. This is episode number 40.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Yep. So
I'll have to send you some buddies over.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely,
man.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Check out check out some previous episodes too. We've had
some of the episodes are really good. And
we're like three retards just talking about crap.
Three knuckleheads from Indiana.
Exactly.
So who had the idea?
Actually, here's a funny story.
We all did.
Bill and I. Bill, why don't you tell the story?
Tell me a story, Bill.
Well, so I'm kind of
time in band camp.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I'm kind of the middle. I'm kind of the middle between these two monkeys. So I've been Dennis for a long time, since like 1985, I think it was.
84.
Oh, wow.
And met Alan on a KISS Yahoo group, and saw he posted something from Evansville. So I said, "Well, dude, I'm from Evansville." So we connected, and we ended up having dinner one time when I was down there, and then we kind of hung out a little bit, and then we were at a Judas Priest show. I went down to go to a Judas Priest show with Dennis, October of 2015. Yeah, 2015.
We talked about it, and we talked about it.
2014. Dennis and I have been talking a little bit about doing a podcast. It'd be kind of cool, just sit around and just shoot the shit, talk about stuff, and it not be any big heavy thing. We didn't want to have, we just wanted to talk, and then we want to talk about music because we both love it. I can't play except for cowbell. And
nice.
And I play. You can see all I play.
Dennis plays everything, and Alan plays bass and drums. So I was the outsider. So we ran into the and a six string, for God's sakes. And he sings whatever. Anyway,
I play the G string.
Whatever. Wish.
Skin flute, right? Skin flute.
No, that's Dennis.
Yeah. So we were at Judas Priest, and Dennis and I are standing there talking, and Alan walks by, and then so we start talking, and we were like,
and I got introduced to Alan because I had never
introduced him, and that night we talked about a podcast. We kind of mentioned it, and then Alan said something about, well, that'd be kind of cool. You guys be interested? Say yeah. So some time went by, and then all of a sudden it was like Alan called later.
Email.
It was 364 days later.
Yeah. He goes, hey, you guys still thinking about doing that podcast thing? We're like, yeah, that'd be cool. He goes, I can figure it out. I used to do a podcast. Let's go. And from that point forward, it's just been an interesting thing was Dennis and I talked about it for a year, and Alan got it going in about 3 days.
The whole point was we didn't know. We had the idea, but we didn't know how to do it. And Alan's like going, well, I used to do this. I can.
At first, I thought those guys were going to do a podcast. Right. So I sent them a message. I'm like, dude, when are you guys going to get your podcast going? I've been dying to see this. And they're like, we need your help.
We don't know how to do it. We're stupid. We don't know how to talk.
Well, he just showed me how to upgrade Skype, right? So
hey, he's a genius.
I appreciate that. For the next
and then from that point forward, we've been doing the show about every week. We've missed a couple of weeks because of family stuff, and really the show is it's really. I mean, we love doing it, and it's really for us.
It's just us busting each other's balls, and if anybody gets to be in the room while we're busting our balls, that's great.
Yeah, and it's fun. We have a good time, and hey, if you love it, great.
I got a question. Who was singing for Judas Priest?
Rob.
Oh, Rob Halford.
Oh, Rob Halford.
Nice. Now, did you hear the rumor that he was going to be the one to replace Brian Johnson on AC/DC?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was hoping. No, that's who I thought it was going to be, and they ended up getting Axl. But I was like so pumped. I was like, oh my god, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Judas Priest.
Yeah, it was Judas Priest, and
that was it was Steel Panther, and they were so fucking great,
so damn funny.
I get a little Steel Panther thing because we get compared to them quite a bit,
Right.
But the thing is, we're like for real. You know what I'm saying? Like we were real.
all that stupid shit. We were doing it on purpose. I mean, we were doing it back then. So, but I respect what they do. But they're pretty funny. When we actually played at Rocklahoma, we were battling stages. We went on stages there at the same time as the Steel Panthers. So it was kind of fun.
When were you at Rocklahoma?
What was it, about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
Okay, yeah. I went to Rocklahoma 3 and 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
you have a good time?
Oh yeah, I had a ball. I would like to have gone. I would like to have gone the past 2 years, but I started teaching part time at ITT Tech, and it always falls on the weekend. I have to work, so yeah.
You're not living on that rock and roll money, huh? You got to work, huh?
There you go.
I make more money as a sound guy than I do in a band.
Oh, dude, trust me. The guy
you're
who
the fucking devil. You're the fucking devil, Al. Us guys.
I haven't figured that part out yet. Like I said, I talk to my guys all the time. I said, look, man, we're having a blast. We're playing all these great shows and doing whatever. And we played 100 dates last year. We're looking like a little over that this year. And we get a lot of opening slots, which is fun for these bigger bands. But you just got to get your foot in the door, man. Scrounge for that money. It's all about that moolah.
Yep.
So
having a great time.
So I saw the video clip from a couple of weeks ago. I think you were on a radio show down in Daytona before you did. Yeah. And so Eddie Cruiser, how long has he been in the band?
Eddie Cruz.
Sorry.
Yeah, Eddie effing Cruz. No, he's been in the band for since
he's got a ton of names, if I remember right. They were calling
we call him a bunch of shit. The thing is, he's been in the band since we got back on the road. He's been on the band for I would say about 3 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been around. JP, I had him out on the road all last summer. We did like a 30th anniversary thing. JP's getting to be an old man, lives in California. And
so what's that make him, about 51?
Me?
No, JP.
JP, he's way older than that, man. Are you kidding me?
Dennis is 51. That's the only reason.
I'm 51. It's not old. Fuck you guys.
It's all good, man. I never say this, but I'll be 50 at the end of the year, so I'm almost
there. You go. Hey, you know what? Welcome to the club.
That's right. Welcome to the club. It's okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
Give up. Big hug.
I told Kenny earlier in the day that I was the baby of the group at 46.
Yeah. And look at him. He ain't got no fucking hair. He's just all jacked up.
Now, which one of you guys on Viagra right now? Who's on Viagra?
Not me. Sure? I'm good.
Who's admitting it?
I had that conversation with my old man about 6 months ago. I'm like, Dad, you're 72 years old, man. Does your dingling still work? That's all I want to know about. He said, ask your mother. So I take that as a yes anyway. So
there you go.
That's something to look forward to. But so with that in mind, I couldn't keep him on the road, and he's too far away. I had to keep everybody central. So we got a new guitar player who's been in the year. It'll be a year October. Greg. I said Greg played with Brittany Fox for a few years. So he did that. Played with Still Heart for a few years as well. He's a Rhode Island boy. So moved to Florida. And
what was his name again? I'm sorry.
His name is Greg Paul Carey.
Okay, because your video kind of crap there for a second.
That's the Skype, man.
Well, anyway,
yeah.
I just want to make sure.
He's the new guy. He's the new guy in the band. He's been in it for a year. So
okay.
Yeah. So we're out just kicking ass, man. Taking names, trying to give them a rock and roll show. I do not do anything different than I did 25 years ago. I mean,
so what do you got coming up? I mean, what's your next stuff coming up here in the next?
Well, I know, like I said, we're going to 80s in the Park starting basically tomorrow. Tomorrow's the pre-party. We're going to go do a TV interview in the morning and to go do that. Then we actually have a 2 weeks off, which we kind of need, and then we're going off to Texas.
Cool.
We got a show someplace called the Crater Rally, and it's actually in a crater in the ground. It's crazy. It's like a bike rally, but we're headlining it. And then the following night, we're playing in Texarkana with LA Guns, who are buddies of ours. So
that's
yeah,
cool.
So we're doing that little run, and yeah.
Yeah, so road shows for you guys like that you're traveling that far, is that airplane, or you guys have a bus, or what are you taking?
Well, I'd like to lie to you and say we're doing all that, but no, we're still saving the money, man, pulling a truck and a trailer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, for sure.
Yeah, I can't afford $1,000 a day for a bus. You know what I mean? I'd rather have that money in my pocket.
Yeah.
But it's a trip. I mean, it's kind of fun because the thing is, kind of like our second wind on this, you know. You asked me what I did earlier between 2000 and 2010, other than some compilations and stuff I did. Dude, I got married, had kids, painting salons. That's what I was doing, man. I mean, I was still playing around with the music thing, but I didn't have the band together. I was just doing my own.
You got to make green. I mean, you got to live. That's the whole point.
I got domesticated. You know, it's over now, so I'm just doing my road thing now, which is fun.
Yeah. So when you were not in the scene, and what were you listening to? What was the stuff that you were, you know?
Oh my God, that's a good question. You know, I'd have to say honestly, I probably listened to a lot of talk radio, is what I listened to. But I don't remember what I listened to in those days. I mean, I'll tell you a band that I like that a lot of people hate is I don't mind Nickelback. I like their songs.
I like Nickelback. There's finally somebody else likes Nickelback.
I mean, all right, now there's two of you. You can make
there's
a fan
two of us
club.
in the world.
You can have you can start a club.
Listen, they have one good ballad. They got one good ballad and one sleazy rock song that they repeat over and over and over and over. Yeah. Right? It's the same two songs over and over.
You two could fight over who could be president and vice president of the fan club.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. I ain't that big of a fan, but you just say it. I just threw that out there.
I'm good. I don't need it.
But there's new bands like Pop Evil. I like those guys a lot. My chick turns me on to all kinds of stuff. Who else do I like? See what I'm saying? Hold on.
I got always ask the Nookie Fairy.
Miley Cyrus, Britney, no, Lady Gaga.
Stop that.
Ariana Grande.
She doesn't even know. She's telling me bands I don't even know. I don't even know what the hell I like.
You don't know the names of them.
That's funny. Hey,
tell
her
she can learn those things.
I don't know. Huh?
Tell her she can get in the video if she wants. Say hi.
She says she's good. Come on, can I get a boot shot or something? Damn, I tried.
All right, well, tell us what Nova Rex and Archie Bunker have in common. Or Archie Bunker's chair, to be more specific.
What happened, it's probably been almost 3 or 4 years now, but the Smithsonian, I got a hold. Well, okay, real quick. Here's how it started. So back I told you in 2010, I did Greatest Hits CD, and then I talked about the video, and that ended up being a documentary in 2011, which ended up getting picked up by the Documentary Channel, which was really awesome, and it was even a short run on Netflix. So it's probably been seen by 30 or 40 million people. So I said I was going out doing all these local radio stations and local TV stations promoting the documentary. And of course, every question they want to ask is, was it as crazy as they say it was back then? How many times did you get laid? You know, are you on drugs now? You know, whatever, right? So I went through all that, but then I thought, well, everybody's really, receptive to this, right? And it must have just been a timing thing. So what happened was my hometown museum it's in Johnson County. It's in Franklin, if you know Franklin, Indiana. Yeah. They put my bass. If you go on YouTube and type in my name or the band's name and Johnson County Museum of History, they put the whole thing on glass. They got my outfit and boots with spurs on them, for Christ's sakes, in the damn museum, right? And so my parents came down to the local museum. They threw a parade for me, okay? So I left from my town and drove in a big parade to the thing. It was crazy. The Indianapolis Star was there, everything, right? And I thought, well, that was pretty easy to do. 500 people showed up, biggest thing they've ever had there, right? And then I thought, well, that was pretty easy to do. So then I got a hold of the Hard Rocks, and the Orlando Hard Rock happens to be the corporate office, which I'm not. I'm 20 minutes from there. So I called them. I said, hey, I have a couple of jackets from back in the day. I had old Foot Locker stuff, right? So I pulled that out, and they said, yeah, we'd love to take it. And I'm like, wow, okay. So then what was the other thing? There was a couple of things that happened, but then my girlfriend was like, look, that's cool that you're in your hometown museum. Okay, right? That's cool that you're in the Hard Rock because they take, the Hard Rocks are 500 of them damn things, right? If you really want to impress me, get in the Smithsonian. So I called the Smithsonian up.
Laid the challenge down.
Yeah, so I called them up to
you need to get your shit in the Vatican right now.
Right? And of course, everything I just said don't pay anything, right? It's just all ego boost, exactly. Right? So, but then I called the Smithsonian. I got a hold of the curator. I said, look, I have these leather chaps, these boots, some reel-to-reels, just a bunch of stuff I had left over. And I said, if you're really interested, I would like to be able to donate this stuff to you. And he said, well, give me a week. Let me look at it, because they just don't take everything, right? And a week later, he called me up and he said, "I'll take everything you got." So I sent all the stuff up there. About a year later, I got my mom from Greenwood, Indiana, and she flew up there and met me there, which is crazy because we've never done that before, where me and my mom met somewhere. But anyways, I took her. Hold on a second.
Mom.
Yes, I did. Yeah, it's in the freezer.
Are you talking? Where's the meatloaf? It's in the freezer.
But anyways, they took everything. So we flew up there and checked it out. They got it on display. It's in the same room as Archie Bunker's chair. I just used that example, but Archie's
That's
there
cool.
too.
No,
Marilyn Monroe's gloves and
I've actually been up there. They got Fonzie's jacket. They got a Kermit, and they got and like I said, Archie Bunker's chair. I actually have one of Prince's guitars, I think, in that too.
Yeah,
I've seen all those. Yeah, I've seen all.
Yeah, no. It's a pretty cool, but nobody. I try to use it as like a bragging thing. Nobody cares about it. I mean, I try to tell them all the time. I'm like, dude, I'm in the Smithsonian. I mean, you've seen 2012,
cool.
right?
That's cool.
You guys seen the movie 2012?
Right.
Because you know at the end when they go to put the ark together and they're going to have that ship. Well,
Right.
hopefully I'm be on there, right? I mean, I'm in the Smithsonian. So that on that level, it's pretty
stuff. We got to get it on here.
Yeah, they're like, who the hell is that? Okay.
Well, but really, everybody can't say they're in the Smithsonian.
That's awesome.
That's not how it works.
Well, what was really weird is when I talked to him though about that time frame, the 80s and the hair metal and glam rock, whatever you want to call it, they had nothing in the Smithsonian representing that.
So in that display, did they get some other stuff from the 80s, or is that?
No, you know what they did? What they did on this particular thing, they did a display of outfits from time frames. They had like a zoot suit,
oh, cool.
and then a suit from the 80s, and then they just went that way. The grunge, it's all there. I think they went all the way back to like whatever,
That's
but it's
awesome.
still cool, still there. I mean, I got a base.
So,
in
do
there.
you ever get it back? I mean, is it a loan thing, or is it?
I gave it to him, man. Listen, if the Smithsonian asks for something, don't you just give it to him at this point? I mean, what the hell do I ask for back?
You get a tax.
We're not putting these assless
They get a
caps on
tax
again.
write off that, though, don't you?
Well, and again, I can't even wear those damn chaps anymore, man.
I got a pair of parachute pants I wore back in the 80s at the Victory that don't fit no more.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
No, they're not.
Or something someday.
They get to about the knees, and that's about it. That's
I got my own problems, man. I don't want to. It's living good, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Crazy.
We all got older, unfortunately.
That's nuts. So, we always ask, we kind of talked about this. What are you listening to today? What's your favorite bands today? So you talked about Nickelback a little bit, but what else do you
Well, I
listen
just said that because I was just making fun. But no,
Yeah.
the pop evil I like. There's this band out called Hellstorm. They're pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Lizzie Hale.
Yeah, she kicks ass. I'm really just trying to think, man. I mean, I'm still kind of old school. I mean, I listen to the classic rock station more than anything.
See,
we do shows with bands like Saving Abel, Five Finger Death Punch, but even those guys ain't new.
No.
Yeah, not
You know
anymore.
what I mean? So, as far as brand spanking new, I don't know, dude. I mean, all you're gonna catch on the pop radio stations is Miley Cyrus, like you said, or Beyonce, or some corporate band thing that they every 500 radio stations play the same 5 songs over
Yeah, no
in that
kidding.
mix, man. So
other than the Texas Crater Festival you got coming up, are you guys going to be? You said you had 2 weeks off. Are you doing more? Are you starting another tour?
we're always just on the road. We just happen to have 2 weeks off. We went to Sturgis and we were out there for 16 days total.
Oh wow.
Because now this is Sturgis and Montana.
Right.
So we drove approximately 5,000 miles round trip.
Wow.
I think it took us 72 hours, 2 trailer tires and a fender. I mean, I can go on, but
I've been there, done that, and I still
Been
do
there. We've all been there. Except Bill.
well, we got some good shows. I got a show coming up October 1st and 2nd down in West Palm, Florida. It's called Rumageddon,
Right.
and take this lineup. It's we're opening up both nights for Marshall Tucker
that. Right.
Sweet.
and Molly Hatchet.
There you go.
Sweet.
Cool.
But it'll be a
Southern
fun
Rock.
show.
Southern Rock.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
And
if
we'll come back up to Indianapolis soon too.
Well,
Hey,
I was gonna
whenever
say,
you
man,
get
we
up
wanna
to that
know.
area,
We'll-
whenever you
we'll
get
be
up
in
to
there.
Indianapolis, give us a holler, and we'll go up there and meet you.
well,
Yeah, we
we're
played.
close,
we were there back last January. We were there last January, and you guys didn't even have snow. But we played at a place called Southport Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well,
and we're welcome
when you
back
find
anytime.
yourself getting closer to time to come this way,
Yeah,
get in touch with me, and I'll see if I can get you in somewhere here in Evansville.
Yeah.
that would be great. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
that'd be awesome.
Like just a pickup date or something. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
always about it,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
If you're gonna drive this far, you might as well
If you're gonna drive up there, we can get you someplace.
hit
in
it.
there.
Hit a few.
Definitely.
Yeah, you guys are about 15 hours from me, something like that. You know the ride.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's not the,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Panama City in a couple of weeks, so that's about a 12-hour drive.
We played there, Panama City Bike Week. That was this year, and we played at Club La Vila. You guys have been there, Club La Vila?
Yep. I've not
Beautiful
been there,
place.
but I've been by there. Yeah.
It's got that big swimming pool out there and
Yep.
the big
Yeah.
stage. We played. We opened up one night because usually we try to, if we go somewhere, we try to stay, you know. But we did Candlebox one night and Jackal the second night. So.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff, you know.
Cool.
Cool.
But yeah, man.
How was Candlebox? Were they pretty good?
You know, I like Candlebox. The band is really cool and nice. Jackal probably crowd-wise kicked their butt. Because I
Every
think
time
Jackal's
I've seen Jackal, they've kicked the crowd's butt.
Well, I only see them playing bike events, and they're usually sponsored by some bike company or whatever. So when it comes to bike events, they pretty much rule that market.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just at full throttle, obviously, right? You know,
Yeah.
they played there tonight. So
I saw them a few years back at Rocklahoma, and they played in the middle of the day. So
wow,
the 2 or 3 bands that went on after them, I kind of felt bad for them because, I mean, they tore it up. They stole the show that day.
It's kind of interesting how the bikers have certain bands they follow. Like we had 38 Special here in Columbus they have a free rock show every year,
Right.
and it was just packed with bikers for 38 Special. Just packed.
They fought a lot of the southern rock type people.
Yeah, I
do.
guess that's, yeah.
And Jackal
Just
has a little bit of that in him. You know what I mean? Plus that and that damn moonshine. You know that
exactly.
great gimmick, man. Moonshine in a mason jar. Man,
Yep.
I wish I would have thought of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So no, that guy stayed out there because of the TV show and stuff too. So I give him all props, man.
Heck yeah, do what you got to do.
I mean, you see Brett Michaels selling stuff at the pet stores, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't hate. You know what I mean?
You got to use your status, man. You got a status. You got to use it.
Yeah, twist it as much as you can. You know,
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
For sure.
but
Yeah, just doing Walmart commercials for God's sakes. So.
Right. So you're a mega Kiss fan. How many Kiss shows have you seen?
All
I've
of them.
seen 42.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the Kiss fan.
I did a show. Was it last year? See, I always get my information, man. I'm lost. The thing is, I did a pre-party for the Kiss Cruise.
That's
Adam
cool.
Oh, you did? Cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and that was a lot of fun, man. The Kiss crowd, man. Them guys are true
Did you
drivers.
go on the actual cruise, or did you play at the dock there?
I played at the dock.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, they have actually a fairly good sell-off concert there. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a fun experience. Anyways,
That's awesome.
right now I'm trying to get on that damn Monster Rock cruise. Is what I'm trying to get on.
Oh, that'd be badass.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be
Very cool.
I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. I don't know. You know, it's who you know and what you know and all that. You know how it goes.
right.
But we're in
Do you,
Florida.
like
boys, I mean,
in those bands, do you get paid to be on those things? I mean, you get paid
You know,
decently for that?
I haven't done the cruise, but I will tell you what I've heard. I've heard that, of course, I think the higher end bands like your Tesla, who's on a lot of these monster cruises and stuff, I'm sure they're getting paid. But I think the smaller bands, I think they probably just get comped. man.
comp you.
Yeah.
And
Maybe bring your wife or girlfriend.
hell, you get a free vacation out of it, if anything.
and a captive audience, obviously, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they can't
Get
run
some
away.
merch. Sell some merch.
Sell some merch, yeah. You know, and I think what they told me is that if you get on the cruise, you got to play twice a cruise. You know, like you play once inside and once outside, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Oh,
Hopefully in January, I'll let you know.
The rough life. I have to play twice.
Well, what else you gonna do, right? But drink
Yeah.
and lick titties, right?
Exactly.
So,
Well, I'd play twice, but they won't let me.
right?
They don't need cowbell. They
Well,
don't
you can
need
only
cowbell
have so
the
many
whole time.
cowbell solos, Bill.
God, give me a break, man. I got to start taking lessons or something. This is
You need to
ridiculous.
start.
He's gonna learn triangle next.
Your son's
You, gotta,
playing. You need to.
you have to
get
grow
on.
your hair long, man. I'm telling you. As long as you got long hair, they'll just
Oh.
think you're a rocker and you'll be good.
I had the long
I
hair.
did that
before.
where I'm
I'll
fine.
take the short hair. I'll take the short hair and I'll rock till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and I don't have any problem. I'm not going back to the mullet.
No, God, right.
Business
Yeah,
in the
it's a
front,
lot of work, man.
party in the back. You know what I'm saying?
This is just party.
I heard it's coming back, by the way, just to let you know.
Oh Lord,
Yep.
I've already done that. Been there, done.
It's I have a son that's 18 and plays college football, and we were at his scrimmage the other day, last weekend, and this kid walks out and he's got a football uniform, great big dude. He's got this hair that's like, and it's curly, real curly hair at the top, and he's got all the way about halfway down his back, and it's shaped like this in the back. It's real thin back here, and it makes this great. I'm like,
well, you know,
I just want to jump down there and shave it.
For whatever it's worth, at least you remember the guy, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
I had long hair for many years, dude.
You did.
Many years. I did.
I got a few more to go. I can't really particularly be in a hair metal band and shave my head yet. You know what I mean?
Alan had long hair too when he was like 4.
Yeah.
Is that before or after the penis transplant?
Oh, wow. Okay, he's our hero.
Damn.
I could throw that shit out all night long, man.
There you go.
We bust each other's balls all the time, so glad you finally jumped in.
Oh, it's all good.
Cool.
So anyway.
Yeah, you should see our text that goes on all day long.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of us get to work.
Hey, tell your girlfriend that she was in the background.
Hey, you were in the background.
missed it. And I missed it.
She had clothes on,
anything, so-
anyways.
That's rare.
You hear what she said? That was rare. Had
Yes.
clothes on. Hey.
That's funny.
All right.
All right, well, Kenny, we won't take up any more of your
Hey,
time.
appreciate it, guys, man. Appreciate what you guys do, and it's cool. Keep rock and roll alive, all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And when I come to Indianapolis next time, man, I will definitely give you guys a holler.
Yeah,
And
we'll
we'll
definitely
hook
get
up
it
here in
for
Evansville
sure.
and get you ready to go.
Yep.
So,
Just make sure you edit this thing down so I look really cool.
Of course.
Yeah, we edited
Now
ourselves
you got the
down.
painted fingernails, man. What do you want? Look at that. Look at that. I'm
There
ready
you
to rock, baby.
There you go.
Well, cool, man. Appreciate it. Let me know when you guys are,
All right, I will. It'll be live next week. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
All right.
Hey, sorry about all the problems with Skype. It's all Alan's fault.
It is all Alan's fault.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Him and
You should
Obama.
like them too.
actually, it'll be all edited out, and you won't even see it. So it'll be awesome. But thank you,
There.
Kenny. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
appreciate it,
Thanks a
guys.
lot, man.
Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks, man. Later,
See you,
bro.
man.
See you later, guys.
See you.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.